A very good evening and welcome in the ring. It is so great to have each and every one of you here home in Guyana and in the diaspora. And what a program we have in place for you guys this evening. Wherever you're joining us from, again, whether you're home here in Guyana or you're in the diaspora, we are tremendously privileged to have each and everyone here with us. And guys, you know how we do it when we come on. We have quite a program lined up for you and we want to get started almost immediately. Of course, we got to reach our magic numbers. Guys, you had a good day at work. Very concerned about that. Some of you are still working very hard, earning that pay, and going out there and taking care of business. And we admire that and we salute that, folks. Those of you who are already home, with your foot up in the chair, having some dinner with the family or what have you. Again, we welcome each and every one of you. And as you know, we always say to share the live stream, and we want to do exactly that as well, folks. So why don't you join us in sharing the live stream? We're going to do just that as we come on. We're going to share it a couple places. By then, we should have that magic number reached, and we are going to start, folks. We are going to start. We're going to start. All right, so let me practice what I'm asking of you and share the live stream a couple places as well, guys. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share it just a few places, and then we are going to get started. We are going to get on the way. So bear with me. Let me make sure I've shared it a couple places, and then we head off. All right, looks like we're good to go one place. Let me make sure we are all set in some other places, guys. Welcome again. Whether you're joining us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, you all hear my little accent there. Wherever you guys are joining us from, again, we are happy. We are happy to have each and every one of you. We value you guys. We see value in you. And we hope because you keep coming back night after night, it's not just fastness, but that you see some value in us as well. Thanks for joining each and every one of you. We are again waiting to hit those magic numbers. Guys, let me know if you are receiving me well at your end. Let me know if I am clear. Let me know how you're receiving us and where you're receiving us from. I'm going to give a couple of you a shout out in a couple of minutes. Bear with me. Thank you guys so much for joining us this evening. I'm ensuring that I share a couple of places as well. I'm ensuring I share a couple of places as well. I see a couple of you have already done that. Guys, don't be stingy. Let us share with others. Let us share. There's enough in the ring to go around. Let us share with others tonight. All right? I'm ensuring that I share a couple of places. Well, I'm almost done. I'm almost done, and you'll have my undivided attention. And I hope I have yours as well. All right? I'm almost done. Good to see each and every one of you. We're going to have a guest a little later on in the program. But again, I'm so thankful for all of you. So immensely thankful for each and every one of you. All right, I'm making sure now that I have my notes in place. And I'm good to go, guys. Welcome again in the ring. All right, we're almost at our magic number. We are almost. I feel like some people, we almost at the magic number, folks. And yep, I think I'm about ready with my information. And we are, again, waiting on you guys. All right. I see Abigail Prasad is on. Nadia Seaford from New York City. I see Roxanne Jacobs and Erica Hooper, Renee McKenzie Talbot. I see Irwin Don Cook is here with us tonight. Paulette Benji is reading us loud and clear from St. Lucia. And Orville Cook is reading us. Yeah, she's watching. She says, good evening. I see Pinky Kerr is with us. Good night to you, Pinky. I see one. McFoy is here with us. I don't want to pronounce the first name incorrectly. EOIN. McFoy, Jack Power Allen is with us. Good night to each and every one of you. Mark Allman joining us from New York City. Guys, how is the weather where you are? Grateful to have each and every one of you. And at our end here, we are fired up, guys, and we are ready to go. All right, no time to waste this evening. Guys, I'm ready. I don't know about you guys, but I am ready to go. You see, when you come late to class, you miss a lot of stuff. That's why you got to come early to class. You have to get your books ready and so forth. Head up for the lesson because it moves very quickly at this end, guys. A privilege again to have each and every one of you. And thanks for joining wherever you're joining us from. I am ready. I am locked in and I'm ready to give you the information as it happens. Folks, we turn our attention this evening to COVID 19. And again, we ask that you guys share the live stream. Is that too much to ask, folks? Share the live streams back to your profile. Give us a share, tag a friend, what have you. We are looking at all of your comments. Joy and Tasha and Shelly and Gail, Edwin, Bess, Marlon, Tony, all of you guys. Maxi Donna. Good to see all of you. Good to see all of you guys. We turn our attention as we begin this evening to COVID 19. And we always say in the ring, you should social distance. Even though we box in, we got to social distance. Wear your mask, folks. Sanitize your hands. Sanitize. And if you're in groups, it should not be groups more than 10. And even so, you should still be observing a COVID protocol. Mask should be second nature now, right? It is like brushing your teeth in the morning. If some of us do that, it's almost second nature. And so we turn our attention to COVID 19 because we have said repeatedly here in the ring that this catfish administration has not been leading on COVID 19 at all. And we have pointed out instance after instance after instance where this government seems to be flouting its very own COVID regulations, where we see this government again flouting its very, very own COVID regulation. And we have pointed this out to you countless times. Just today, we saw that happening, folks. Just today, we saw that happening. And so they have not been leading. Let us be frank. They have not been leading. And we have seen the numbers. We have seen the numbers increase. And we know those trenches on the page, on the feed, are going to say, oh, well, APNU didn't report it as it was, and there were more cases of COVID 19 than they let on before August 2nd. But we know the truth. We know that on August 2nd, there were 474 COVID 19 cases here in Guyana, and there were 21 deaths. To date, there are over 218 COVID deaths. And the 18 has just been in the last perhaps week and a half alone, because we were there and we shared with you when the opposition and opposition MPs were paying tribute to the 200 persons who would have died from COVID 19 locally, just locally, Guyanese. And that was just a week or two ago. 18 persons have since died. I think two just today, folks. And so while they want to talk about they have been doing more testing, and that is arguable, they've been doing more testing, then what is responsible for this high incidence of COVID deaths over the same period of time, roughly? And so the head of state, right, the fraudulent, installed, illegal Irfan Ali, was chided severely in Starbuck News editorial this morning. That was titled "President Must Lead on the National Charge Against COVID-19." This is not APNU AFC, because some of you are going to say, we are always critical, but this is your paper. This is Starbuck News that leans more to the government than anything else. I want to read just a section of the editorial. You can read the rest for yourself. It's available on the Starbuck News website. You see, I'm giving them a free plug. You see how fair we are? There is something to be said, the editorial reads, for the sharp contrast between how the national response for COVID-19 pandemic is being administered in our colleague CARICOM member country, Barbados, and how it is being handled here. While there is no evidence that the health authorities are not doing their best in the circumstances, there is much more to managing this malady than testing and treatment. The situation requires focused leadership. A second part of the editorial reads, from the outset, It appeared that the authorities failed to recognize the magnitude of the problem. The primary weakness here appearing to be in the indifference of the authorities to back the prescribed restrictions with a measure of force. And lastly, I want you to note the editorial reads, we have arrived at this point where it is the president that has to have the highest profile in the national response to what remains a national emergency. Of course, you see the Barbadian Prime Minister, Mia Mottley, out in front, giving COVID press briefings and updating the nation constantly and holding our nation accountable for observing the COVID restrictions and regulation. Not so here. Not so here at all. Right? We don't know who is responsible for COVID-19 directly. We don't know who. And the Prime Minister came out, I think it was in December, to say that, they had beaten COVID and they had COVID under control. So we don't know if it's Ramsamy in charge of COVID, if it's the Prime Minister, is it Barry, Ramsaran, is it Frank Anthony? Who's responsible for COVID? And we believe, like Sabbath News is saying, that is the president that has to show leadership. It is the president who is the chief medical officer. It is the president who is the chief health minister. He has to lead by example. And just today, folks, we note what the Kaito News said, that the joint services to enforce COVID-19 measures. You see, they haven't been leading. And the president, again, fraudulent as he is the commander-in-chief, a fraudulent commander-in-chief. And the joint services now going to enforce COVID-19 measures, restrictions, regulations. So what were they doing all the time? Looking for the boat with the dead people with no engine, moving 2 nautical miles per hour? Is it that what they were doing? Certainly, perhaps they were hunting for the folks who shipped the 11 tons of cocaine to Belgium. Maybe they were hunting down the Henry Boys murderers and harassing. Maybe that is what they were doing. So they're now turning their attention to enforce COVID-19 measures. Folks, that is where we are currently. Yep, Sabbath News is absolutely right. The president has failed. The president has failed to rise to the occasion. And all they can do is blame the last administration. Blame the last administration. That's all they can do. Right? And now, 6 months in charge, now the the joint services will enforce COVID-19 measures now. And if that was not enough, ladies and gentlemen, just today, a minister of government was hating on the COVID-19 restrictions, measures, and regulation. Yep. Minister of Youth, Sports, and Culture, the fraudulent, right? Minister of Groundsman, meeting with young people, right? Young people are not wearing his mask. And so he is in defiance of the COVID regulations. This is a sitting minister of government. So you see what we're talking about when we say that this government keeps flouting its own COVID regulations with impunity, right? Keeps flouting its own COVID regulations with impunity. And that is where we are, folks. Sad to say, but that is where we are, right? That is where we are. And we have seen now more COVID deaths over the last 24 hours. As I said, I think 2 persons died today. And also we have seen more confirmed cases. I think there are over 60 confirmed cases of COVID-19 infected persons today. So the government isn't leading. And for all intents and purposes, what we're seeing here is a spike in our COVID numbers. And that is what we're seeing here. And so the editorial of Sabbath News says, again, folks, it is worth repeating, we have arrived at this point where it is the president that has to have the highest profile in the national response to what remains a national emergency. It's begging Sabbath News, begging the president to lead by example. That is what we're having here. Begging, they are begging the president to lead on COVID 19, right? So our thoughts and prayers go out to all of those persons who would have lost their lives. Our thoughts and prayers go out to all of those persons who would have lost their lives to COVID 19, folks. Again, we are following the developments in the murder of this gentleman who is considered to be a very close friend of Roger Khan, Ricardo, whatever his name is. I just had it in my thoughts, and now it's slipping me. And we learned today that a burnt out fielder wagon was found somewhere in the village of Swan on the Linden Soesdijk Highway, and so the authorities are following this issue, and we are going to continue to bring the information to you as we obtain it, folks. So we are following this information, and again, a burnt out field wagon was found in the community of Swan, and this is on the Linden Soesdijk Highway, folks. So we are following that. In other news, we turn our attention to Giftland. Yep, Giftland. That is where we turn our attention this evening. And as you might know, or those of you who are now catching up on the day's news, the Chief Justice today said that Giftland, once Mayor and City Council follows the correct procedure, has to pay his taxes. And so that bit of reporting that suggested that Giftland didn't owe $100 million was fallacious. It was absolutely wrong. The Chief Justice said what has to happen is that the Giftland, once City Council follows the correct procedure, has to pay the taxes. And we are going to expand on this particular story a little later on in our program with our guests. But folks, I want to turn your attention to what has been happening in Linden over the last 24 hours. We have learned that, as you know, since the cabinet meeting of January 26th, this very year, employees of the St. John's Ambulance Brigade has been fired from working for the hospital in Linden. Data entry clerks have been fired. The Linden Board of Guardians would have been dismissed. A new board is in place. The Linden Enterprise Network also, board members were dismissed. A new board is in place, and the list goes on. Today, we learned that the embattled CEO of the Linden Hospital Complex, Mr. Rudy Small, the embattled CEO of the Linden Hospital Complex, he has cut ties with several long-standing contractors. So basically, he has fired them, and this has resulted in the unemployment of additional scores of additional Lindeners. Scores of additional Lindeners. We have learned, for instance, that the CEO has officially cut ties with the St. John's Ambulance Brigade that has provided service for the Linden Hospital Corporation for decades. He has also cut contractual services of the Forester Security Service, which has also served the hospital for, I think, close to 20 years. And this contract has been given to Modern Security. This is the first time I'm hearing about this company, Modern Security Services. So the contract that Forester Security Services held for protecting the hospital and its assets has now gone to Modern Security Service. If you know about that service, guys, let me know. Also, a taxi service that used to service the hospital, Double Team Taxi Service there in Linden. Their services have also been severed by the Linden Hospital Complex CEO, Rudy Small, the embattled hospital CEO, who came to public infamy because of the nastiness and lewdness he spoke about the nurses. One Mr. Corbett Benjamin also, he had his contract with the hospital severed. He was apparently providing mechanical services to the Linden Hospital Corporation for over 20 years, ladies and gentlemen. And we're picking up this information from Info 10 coming out of Linden. Info 10 coming out of Linden, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to give you a very, very quick update as it concerns the elections petition. As you know, we had Member of Parliament, the Honorable Kemraj Ramjita, and Leader of the Alliance of Change on with us last evening. And I had promised you an update coming out from the as it concerns the elections petition. And that is what I want to give you. If you give me 1 second, let me just make sure I have the right place in my notes. I will have that information for you guys. Yeah, so what we were missing last evening is the date for the hearing to commence as it regards petition 88. And that, I am advised, will be done on April 8th. Let me just make sure I am quoting it correctly. The hearing is fixed for April 7th, rather. Good thing I followed my notes. The hearing for petition 88 is set for April 7th. And of course, we'll be giving you some updates as we proceed. In the coming days and the coming weeks, we're going to keep you updated as to the elections petition. That hearing, again, for 88 is set for April 7th. And we were made to understand that the appeal in relation to petition 99, this is now before the Court of Appeal. It has been filed, and the settling of the record of appeal is fixed for next Monday. That is fixed for next Monday, folks. The government has filed a motion to strike out the appeal. And of course, we'll be giving you guys updates for this as we go along. We just wanted to remind you, because we know that events are so fast moving in this country, and then you have a whole host of propagandists. What was uncovered, some of what was uncovered that led to elections petition 99, some of the irregularities and inconsistencies that occurred. Folks, we had issues where they were missing certificates of employment. Do you remember that? We had weeks telling you about this. You had migrants, persons who were overseas, but yet miraculously voted home here in Guyana on election day. You had people who were dead, and miraculously somebody fraudulently voted for them, or the grave gave up its dead. And these people walked on March 2nd, 2020 and voted for themselves. You had people who had no ID who voted, and voted without the oath of identity that should be taken for somebody who has no ID. You have missing oaths of identities, folks. You have unstamped ballots. All of this is what the National Recount produced. This is what was discovered during the recount. You had missing poll books, missing official list of electors, and the list goes on and on. So, elections petition 99 sought to litigate what was the legality of having all of these missing statutory documents, etc., as transpired on March 2nd and revealed during the National Recount, folks. But again, we're going to keep updating you as to the elections petition, both 99 in the Court of Appeal and 88 before the High Court currently. And again, I want to remind you that 88 is being heard on the 7th of April, and the appeal 99 is set to be heard. Again, what they call the record of appeal is fixed for next Monday. And so again, we're going to bring you updates where those issues are concerned, folks. Some damning revelations this afternoon that we want to bring to you guys, that we learned as we were coming on, that a prison escapee, let me get the name correct, I think it is Muhammad Ali, spoke with journalist Leroy Smith from the Big Smith News Update, and told Mr. Smith that he paid $5,000 to leave prison early. Yep, that is information we have at this hour, that he paid authorities $5,000, it is alleged, to leave prison early. That is what he told Leroy Smith, and we want to share that with you. Again, we are picking this up from Big Smith News Update from journalist Leroy Smith, who prison escapee Muhammad Ali made contact with and revealed what
All
he
right,
revealed today.
Mr. Ali.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Leroy Smith again. You just called.
called.
So I am
So I am
recording you
recording you
on my
on
other
my other
phone. Tell
phone.
me
Tell me
exactly what
exactly
is it
what
you
is it
want
you
to
want
say.
to say. I would like the general public to know that I did I not did not escape just escape like just that. like that. I would have
I
paid
would have
$5,000
paid
US
$5,000 US
for my
for my
freedom. I
freedom.
would have
I would
had
have had
1 year
1 year
more
more
remaining in
remaining in
prison,
prison,
and I was
and I was
given the
given the
opportunity to
opportunity
pay
to
that
pay that
money
money
and to
and
get
to
out the
get out the
country.
country.
I would have
I would have
finished so
finished so
far in
far in
prison,
prison,
seven
seven
calendar years,
calendar
four
years,
months,
4 months,
and
and
never
never
tried to
tried to
escape
escape
or never
or
had
never had
wanted to.
wanted to.
But
But
seeing
seeing
given the
given the
opportunity,
opportunity,
I took
I
it.
took it. Okay.
Okay.
Did you pay
Did you
this
pay
money
this money
outside of
outside of
prison or
prison
while
or
in
while in
prison?
prison? I was
I
in
was in
prison, but at
prison,
the
but at the
hospital.
hospital. At the hospital.
Everything was
Okay.
set on plan.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
what is your
what is your
concern right
concern
now?
right now?
To let the
To let the
public know
public
that
know
I
that
did
I
not
did not
escape. I would
escape.
have
I would
paid
have
my
paid
money
my
to
money
buy
to buy
a
a
year
5 year
sentence off my
sentence off my
sentence,
sentence,
which is
which is
I had a
I
year
had a
more.
year more.
Okay, my
Okay, my
question to you
question to
now,
you
Mr.
now, Mr.
Ali,
Ali,
who did you
who
pay the money to?
did
Did
you
you
pay the
pay the
money
money
to?
or somebody
Did
paid
you
it on
pay the
your
money or
behalf?
somebody paid it
I
on your
paid it
behalf?
myself. I
I
had a
paid
way
it
to get
myself.
it
I had a way
and
to
I
get
paid
it
it
and I paid it
in person.
in
Who did you
person.
pay it
Who
to?
did you pay it to?
I would only
I would only
disclose this
disclose this
information
information
to
to
Mr.
Mr.
Samuels when
Samuels
he's
when
back
he's
on
back on
duty,
duty,
which is
which is
supposed to be
supposed to
next
be
month.
next month.
Why
Why
only Mr.
only Mr.
Samuels?
Samuels?
Because I
Because
only
I only
trust him,
trust him,
and if I
and
do
if
get
I do
asked
get
to
asked to
disclose
disclose
them,
them,
I will
I
give
will
him
give
the
him
names
the
of the
names of the
persons,
persons,
the three
the three
persons that is
persons that is
involved.
involved.
Okay, three
Okay, three
persons.
persons. What are the
What are
rank?
the
What
rank
are the rank
structure of these
structure of these
persons?
persons?
One is
One is
first rank, one is PO2, and the other one is a Broncos. Okay. I will get Minister Ben to make contact with you. Is that okay? Likewise, I'm trying to make contact with him also. You have his mobile number? No, I don't have it, but I'll get it. Okay, I will call, but you see, I don't have a number for him to get you back on. It's okay. Okay. I'll try to make contact directly with the office because in the next half an hour I will be crossing border. All right. We're going east, west, north, south. Pardon me? Where are you heading to? East, west, north, south? Wherever the wind blows. Thank you very much, Mr. Ali. Thank you very much, sir. You're welcome. All right. Mr. Ali.
Wherever the wind blows, folks, that's where he's heading, wherever the wind blows. We have said consistently that we have seen an upsurge in crime under the PPP. The PPP is back, folks. This is what characterizes the PPP government, right? The prison escapee said he should not be referred to as an escapee because he paid to leave the prison. And that's what we said in this program the other day. After we heard two prisoners escape, somebody jumped over the wall. We said they aren't leaving. They aren't escaping. They're leaving. And he said he has paid 5,000 US to leave early, folks. So just yesterday we had the Ricardo saga on Main Street. Uh, Now we have the prisoners who are paying big bucks. Big bucks is being paid to leave. Folks, it is stunning. It is stunning. It is stunning. And for those of you who are now joining us, I want to play that again for you. And I'm going to offer some comments on the other
Yeah,
side.
this is Leroy Smith again. You just called. So I am recording you on my other phone. Tell me exactly what is it you want to say. I would like the general public to know that I did not escape just like that. I would have paid $5,000 US for my freedom. I would have had 1 year more remaining in prison, and I was given the opportunity to pay that money and to get out the country. I would have finished so far in prison 7 calendar years, 4 months, and never tried to escape or never had wanted to. But seeing given the opportunity, I took it. Okay. Did you pay this money outside of prison or while in prison? I was in prison, but at the hospital. At the hospital. Everything was set and planned. Okay. So what is your concern right now? To let the public
know that I did not escape. I would have paid my money to buy off a year sentence off my sentence, which is I had a year more.
Okay, my question to you now, Mr. Ali, who did you pay the money to? Did you pay the money or somebody paid it on your behalf?
I paid it myself. I had a way to get it, and I paid it in person.
Who did you pay it to?
I would only disclose this information to Mr. Samuels when he's back on duty, which is supposed to be next month.
Why only Mr. Samuels?
Because I only trust him, and if I do get on to Mr. Wilson, then I will give him the names of the person, the 3 persons that is involved.
Okay, 3 persons. What are the rank? What are the rank structure of these persons?
One is a flat rank, one is PO2, and the other one is a Bronco.
Okay. I will get Minister Ben to make contact with you. Is that okay?
Likewise, I'm trying to make contact with him also.
You have his mobile number?
No, I don't have it, but I'll give it.
Okay, I will call, but you see, I don't have a number for him to get you back on.
It's okay.
Okay.
I'll try to make contact directly with the office because in the next half an hour I will be crossing border.
All right. We're going east, west, north, south.
Pardon me?
Where are you heading to? East, west, north, south?
Wherever the wind blows.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ali.
Thank you very much, sir. You're welcome.
All right. Mr. Ali.
Mr. Ali.
Folks, and there you have it. He said he paid to leave. You heard it for yourself. He said he paid to leave. And what strikes me is the calmness under which Mr. Muhammad Ali, this prisoner escapee, is speaking as though it's just another day. Right? He seems as though, his thoughts are well put together, very coherent. He is very calm, very methodical in his thinking. He says he's 30 minutes from crossing border, right? And wherever the wind blows. I thought he would have fell for that trap there with Mr. Smith. He said, wherever the wind blows, very, very calm, very, very cool. He said he paid to leave. You'll understand what's happening in this country. You understand why they didn't like the prayer of Pastor Patrick Dulichan? Huh? Do we understand why they didn't like Pastor's prayer? This is the wild, wild west, folks. The PPP come back. They have come back. This is the wild, wild west. This is the wild, wild west that we have here. Right? And we are monitoring all that is happening, all that is taking place. My guest is trying to come on, so it's backstage, I think. Let me just make sure. Right? It is the wild, wild west, folks. How else can we put it? The man in very, very calm, very methodical, very measured. He said, I paid to leave. And so he is abhorring this description as an escapee. Of course, if you pay for a service, right, they can't hold you liable. He left. He said he paid for a year to be knocked off of his sentence. And the cost for that is 5,000 US, allegedly. So I want to hear from the minister, Ben, right, and the other authorities. What is happening here? Right? I don't know if Muhammad Ali wants to step in the ring. Right? But we are open here. We're not going to discriminate against anybody. Right? Because our job here, again, is to pursue the truth, right, and defend the facts. It is the wild, wild west. I know some of you are shocked that this is what Guyana has descended to in 6 short months. In 6 short months. Do we know yet? Who is the female who was there with them? Do we know that as yet? Right? Do we know that as yet? Right? I'm trying to get my guest on. We're having some challenges getting my guest on, but this is the wild, wild west, folks. We couldn't ask for anything better. Right? The PPP wanted to lead, and now they're leading. Starbucks News slamming them on COVID. You're witnessing the crime situation for yourself. It's happening in real time. It's happening in real time, right? We saw what occurred on Main Street. You see what's happening at the prisons, right? It's happening in real time, folks. Crime and so on spiraling out of control. This is not a government that is at the helm and in charge, right? And I see Raymond and Patrick and Patrice and so forth agrees with me, right? I see they're in agreement with me. So this is what we have. This is what we have coming up. I'm trying to get my guests on. I don't know what is happening, but we're gonna keep trying. I'm supposed to have the mayor on with me this evening. This is happening. What happened in Main Street happened on his in his city, and I also want to pick his brain on the Giftland issue. And so this is what we have happening, folks. This is what we have happening, right? Live and direct. Live and direct. All right. I want to give you, as we wait for the mayor to come through, I want to give you what the Chief Justice said in her own words concerning the Giftland payment and paying of taxes to the city. I don't want to praise here or anything what the Chief Justice said. I want to give you in the Chief Justice's own words, folks. So bear with me. The guys are we're gonna try to cue that up for you as quickly as possible. I want you to hear for yourself what the Chief Justice says, and we're gonna have some comment from the mayor when we come back on this very issue. So bear with us, folks. This is what the Chief Justice said quite recently on that issue concerning Giftland and the payment of taxes. As you know, some of the news media carried the story that Giftland didn't owe any taxes to the city, and that was absolutely wrong. Folks, you see how we need to really and truly research. You understand me? And don't pass judgment too quickly, right? So this is what the Chief Justice said quite recently, folks. Take a listen.
Yep. Your Honor, there were some pronouncements in the public, Your Honor, whereby the owner of the or purported owner of the applicant with the pronouncement that they don't have to pay toll, they don't owe any tax whatsoever. And these are, may I understand, judicial review proceedings. Once the correct law is followed, and I can remember Mr. Jonas saying once taxes are equitable, distributed, and so forth, the correct procedure is followed, then every citizen has a duty, statutory duty at this place, madam, statutory duty to pay the rates and taxes, you know. That's my understanding of it. And the same thing, chapter 2801 says every citizen has a duty to pay the rates and taxes once the law is followed in the
Your Honor, if I may, I know you have a matter. I just wanted to join my friend in that application that there are certain indications in the media which would send the wrong message that the court's order did not intimate that he does not have to pay taxes at all. The court's order was specific to this case. The proper procedure wasn't followed, and the decision of the statutory bodies were quashed. That does not mean that he is not susceptible to paying taxes. The impression you get in the media is that he's not allowed to pay taxes at all. That's all we wanted to raise.
Well, I can't get into what is in the media. The fact of the matter is, and I mean, I checked because my registrar, I don't know if it was Mr. Wade or Mr. who contacted the registrar, and he raised the issue with the order. Um, I had wanted to check the order myself before it was entered. That said, it was entered. I just looked at it. And indeed, until the proper procedures are followed, the applicant would not be liable to taxes. Once the applicant procedures are followed, then obviously they would have to pay that which is required according to law. So if it is the media, and I don't know where they would have gotten it from, if it is that the media is of the view that the applicant is not liable to pay any taxes in perpetuity, well, that they are mistaken.
Your Honor, there were some pronouncements in the public, Your Honor, whereby the owner of the or purported owner of the applicant with the pronouncement that they don't have to pay toll, they don't owe any tax whatsoever. And these are, may I understand, judicial review proceedings. Once the correct law is followed, and I can remember Mr. Jonas saying once taxes are equitable, distributed, and so forth, the correct procedure is followed, then every citizen has a duty, statutory duty that is faced, madam, statutory duty to pay the rates and taxes. That's my understanding of the and the same thing, chapter 28 says every citizen has a duty to pay the rates and taxes once the law is followed in the
Your Honor, if I may, I know you have a matter. I just wanted to join my friend in that application that there are certain indications in the media which would send the wrong message that the court's order did not intimate that he does not have to pay taxes at all. The court's order was specific to this case. The proper procedure wasn't followed, and the decision of the statutory bodies were quashed. That does not mean that he is not susceptible to paying taxes. The impression you get in the media is that he's not allowed to pay taxes at all. That's all we wanted to raise.
Well,
Guys, there we have it.
I
What the
can't
Chief
get to
Justice
hear what
said,
is in the
and I
media.
have the mayor with me this
Talk
evening,
more.
and I want to welcome the mayor in the ring. Is he still there? Let me see. I think he's with us now. Uh, yeah. Mr. Mayor, very good evening and welcome in the ring, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Sheriff Duncan, to have me on your program. Pleasant good evening to you and the viewers.
Welcome, your worship. I always say back in the days, you used to say Lord Mayor. So welcome,
Right,
Lord
right.
Mayor, your
Thank you.
worship.
Thank
Mr.
you very
Mayor,
much.
this must have been. I mean, it's nothing to gloat over, but some vindication of what you have been seeing City Hall records reveal as concerning taxes owed by Giftland.
Yes. Um, I saw the media. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. The back and forth with not only the proprietor of Giftland Mall, but other companies and businesses in the city that owe taxes. And I seek the permission of the Chief Justice to play that said video that you actually was playing just now at the level of consent that was granted to me. The video was displayed at the level of a statutory, and I know the media took it and run with it. But I want to say it's not a political something. It's a benefit for all the municipalities and NDCs of our country. And that is the reason why I did not make any comment when Mr. Bipat um, go out there and say he didn't owe any taxes. He gonna sue the mayor and in his personal capacity. Look, I'm bigger than those things, and I wait until the Chief Justice give her final ruling or judgment on this matter, because I believe it's something will clear up uh, the clouds over the municipalities and the NDCs.
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, could you maybe tell us what was that procedure that should be followed that the Chief Justice Roxanne George Wiltshire was referring to?
All right, let me explain very clearly to the viewers and yourself, Mr. Duncan. The procedure which the Chief Justice clarify, it is that the office, the valuation office now, they have to send a notice to value the property, and then upon that, the valuation will come to the council. Now, many people thought that the city council do valuation for properties and then assess tax. No, the valuation office come under the Ministry of Finance, and they have it they have it in the 2804, I think, the Act, valuation for rating purposes. They have to have follow a criteria laws to go and value that place, and then we will apply our 275% upon that value, and that is how you come to the sum which you have to pay. Now, the taxes that the mayor city council did notify the proprietor of Giftland Mall and others, it's a valuation we received in 2017 from the company in 2017. However, the Chief Justice outlined very clearly that every 5 year a new valuation supposed to take precedent, and that is required by laws. So since 1996, we had a valuation done in the country, in the city, sorry, and they need to be upgraded. And that is
Yes,
what
correct.
also the Chief Justice make mention on.
I think part of the challenge, Mr. Mayor, is that you have had a system 23 years under the PPP that didn't function, a local government system, a municipal system that didn't function. Persons were told not to pay their taxes and were supported in doing so. And so it is difficult now for some businesses to come up to scratch. I think that is what is maybe transpiring here. What are your thoughts?
I wasn't getting you clear, Mr. Duncan. Before there's a lot of feedback and breaking up.
Apologies there. I was asking if it is because of the fact that lots of businesses were not paying their taxes over a great many years. They have some difficulty now in adapting to the system, not a new system, to the system.
I believe that there are many businesses out there that they build 3 and 4 story building, rent it for millions of dollars, and come into the city council and they wanted to pay 12,000, 16,000 a year. What the valuation office need to do is start to revalue some of those properties, and those send the proprietors or the owners of those property notice for revaluation, because that is how the city, how is city gonna run on buttons? I don't
Not
believe
at
so.
all.
We
Yeah,
have to get money to run the city. You want a service to deliver to you, like New York and Toronto and all these high-end
yeah,
city, but
yeah,
are we paying the rightful taxes to the city council? That is a question the public should ask the business entities and by extension residents, because there are some residents paying $1,600 a year, $1,200 a year,
yeah,
because you
yeah.
had
And
done
garbage has to be picked up
extension.
weekly. Yeah,
And exactly, you have to pick up
parking's got to
garbage
be
with.
maintained. Yeah, correct.
Look, we the city council got a wide range of service we have to offer to the citizen of Georgetown, but those things call for money, and it can be whoever go in the chair of the mayor. And if the right money is not being paid to the city council, it will always get the issue, it will always get a problem. And
Correct.
I want to encourage the private sector. Look, come on board. I don't need to rebut Mr. Roy B. Pat. I don't need to rebut anything he said about me personally. I don't know him and I don't wish to know him personally. I'm doing my duty that I sworn to, and I will
Yeah,
continue to do that without fear or favor.
yeah.
And I encourage him. I want to take this opportunity. I encourage him. Let us reach, let us talk, and let us move forward this process so that you can able and the city can able to get the rightful money that belongs to the city.
Mr. Mayor, has central government shown a willingness to engage in this revaluation of property process?
Well, all of those matters, Mr. Duncan, I can say this to you. I met with His Excellency yesterday,
I was
and
coming there.
there's numerous matter discussed yesterday meeting at the State House. However, this particular matter, question you asked me, will be discussed tomorrow at the level of the Minister of Local Government, because we have to reach there now to finalize some of the instruction of His Excellency, so that, and all these other things will be raised there. But the Minister of Local Government, the Minister of Finance, they need to play a great role, because let me say this, and I want to be on
Tell
record. I I myself and team of the Mayor City Council will reach very soon to even to take the valuation office to court, so that we can able the court can direct the valuation office to start do the right thing and follow the
yeah,
procedure, the right procedure according to the laws of this country, so that the people can able to pay the right share and right amount of taxes to the city.
yeah, yeah. And on that visit with the president Irfan Ali, Mr. Mayor, it is said that $100 million is being paid to the city in advance. Is it in advance, or is that money that's owed also by central government?
Well, in advance mean that what they owe to us,
Mhm.
they will pay that. But look, I said this before, and I will say it now again.
Tell us.
Government owe the city council taxes, and which we discussed yesterday. Look, His Excellency said, look, we're gonna pay you 100 million in advance. I said, look, City Hall building is falling apart. Let us come together on a consensus here and put that 100 million to City Hall building. Let us start something with City Hall building, because City Hall building is falling apart every
Yeah.
single day. Only today a piece break off again. So we will reach
Wow.
tomorrow with the Honorable
Oh, nobody
Minister
was
of
injured there.
Local Government, and we finalize those things.
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, we've seen an upsurge, for all intents and purposes, of crime in the city. We saw this latest brazen attack on a patron at Palm Court, Mr. Ricardo. This his surname always gives me some trouble. What are your thoughts about this seemingly upsurge in crime? Seeming upsurge in crime.
Look, the Minister of Home Affairs don't have a proper strategy to deal with crime. I only today we was talking about the crime situation in this country. Last 5 years, we didn't have such thing. We didn't have any drug um boys and all these things in other countries, and last 5 years we never encounter of those obstacles in
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
beautiful country. Now you've seen it happening every month, and the crime rate is going up every single god day. Bandits,
And it's the brazenness. It is the brazenness in which they are confronting citizens as though they lend you something that they have to get back. It is the brazenness in which they are operating. We're going to hold for the mayor. He seems to be having some video challenges. Let's see if we
hello,
get him back. Yeah, 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 Mr. Mayor. It is the brazenness in which the bandits are operating and are allowed to operate too that is startling.
yes, yes.
Mr. Mayor, has there been any discussion in terms of a closer working relationship with the National Police and the City Police on this issue?
Well, yes, they got a working relationship, but the working relationship need to strengthen more, especially with the national police, because there are certain equipment the city police in need of, and we cannot afford those equipment. Because let me tell you, and this is what we're going to reach very soon with the attorney general to discuss. All our fines go to the consolidated fund, right? We don't get
Mhm.
nothing. Our city police bring in matters, yes, they bring in lots of matters, but all those fines and monies go to the consolidated fund, go to government, which we do not
Yeah,
receive a penny. And if you check, Mr. Duncan, and I want you to check this act, the Fiscal and Transfer Act, give
yeah,
certain criteria from central government to the city council, Georgetown City Council. The amount of money supposed to be allocated to us yearly, it is closer to 800 million Guyana dollars. But we don't get those money. The Fiscal Transfer Act speak on it, the percentage and every single thing, the calculation and everything. So we need to follow the laws of this country, and the different act of this country, so that we can able to receive our rightful money. You have environmental taxes. We don't get a dime from it, but who
Yeah,
cleaning the
correct.
carpets? Who cleaning
Yeah,
the drains? Who weeding? All of these things, the citizen of Georgetown, and by extension our country, need to know. You cannot bash the mayor and city council. You cannot um, criticize us and other municipality and NDC, because what we ought to get, we are not getting. And I have a problem with that. And we need the right share of money so that we can able to function. And let me say this, the how I see it on a political platform, I believe that decentralizing um, local authorities will be better for our people in this country, and that is what the former president did. David, His Excellency David Graham, he decentralized local authorities to function on its own, to make decisions on its own. But the laws need to reform to give the local authorities, including the RDCs, because the RDCs is a council, an elected council, but
correct.
um has to carry out government policy. The RDC should able to form policy to govern that region for the benefit of its
Yeah,
people. But
correct.
when you
Correct.
but the difference now with this municipality or the city of Georgetown, we can able to form. We are policy maker. We don't necessarily has to carry out government policy. We can create a policy to govern the citizen in Georgetown. There are different policy we can create. I can tell you the city council had passed 5 policies so far. We are working on a few more.
Excellent, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for your hard work in the city, and we hope that this new spirit of engagement with central government bears fruit for the citizens of our national capital city, Georgetown. Thanks
I
again, Mr. Mayor, for dropping by. Right ahead.
I want to make mention of one thing more. You know, Many people may not know that the councillors and mayor and deputy mayor don't receive a salary. I'm not complaining, but this is an oath that I took, and I'm standing by for the
Yeah,
people of this city and country. Many people I saw on the social media, you collecting a fat salary, have to do your job. No, the government give the mayors in this country a stipend of 75,000 Guyana dollars, right?
no,
75,000 Guyana dollars. Mayors across Guyana receive
yeah,
as a
yeah,
stipend. We
yeah.
don't get any benefit. We don't get a
And
pension.
you're performing an executive job in the national capital
Look,
city. Yeah,
this job here, and I'm speaking for the future. I don't want it, right? But these things need to change. It, we're speaking of a oil and gas sector,
yeah,
a development, and these things create corruption in organization
yeah.
and entities.
I was coming there to say you understand now why you are faced with some of the challenges systemic that you are faced with at City Hall.
Yes, so people must know these things. Mayors don't get a salary. The mayors of this country should get a closely to a minister's salary, or or half of it. We don't
Yeah,
get benefit. We don't get duty free. While the Custom Act, um, state clear public official entitled for duty free. We are public officials. Who are we?
correct,
We have
correct.
to go out there. We take all the bashing, the and people, these things, we put up our um career on the line, and we doing the right thing. Anybody
Yes,
look.
yeah,
So these things the public need to know. We don't get a salary. We get a stipend of $75,000. We don't get duty free. We don't get any
Yeah.
pension. We don't get no benefits when we leave office. So people
Yeah.
must know these things. And this is only happening in a country called Guyana, right?
Yeah.
Because all of political agenda by the PPP administration.
Well said, Mr. Mayor. Well said. Again, thank you for your time. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your labor of love. You and your team, it is recognized, and we salute you, sir. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Thank you very much.
Great. Folks, that's all we have for you this evening. Unfortunately, thank you for being in the ring. Those of you who have joined us on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, remember, wear your mask. Don't be like Charles Ramson. Don't be like the government. Sanitize, social distance. And if you're in your groups, should be groups of 10. And even in groups of 10, social distance, folks. That's all we have for you guys this evening. Thanks for joining, and do stay safe. Mark Benchcap's program, Straight Talk, is coming up on social media. We commend it to you. Thanks for joining, and stay safe, guys. Stay safe. You hear what I'm saying? Stay safe.